Hi everyone, it is Tuesday. Oh, there's a wasp flying around. I guess the joys of being outside. I'm just going to wait for a quick minute and see if anyone's going to be joining us live. So I hope you're all having a great day and you started your Monday off right yesterday and got a great start to your week. If you haven't watched my video that I did yesterday on some tips with how to start off your week right and make sure your Monday gets off to a great start, then just look back on my page and hopefully you can find something useful in that video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just have a few tips. Hi Nancy, thanks for joining. I see someone else joined too, but it's not showing me who. So, all right, so I'm just going to talk about some main reasons why it's so important to not weigh yourself all the time. So the very first reason is your weight fluctuates all the time. So if you weigh yourself in the morning and then you weigh yourself at night, we all know that you're going to weigh more at night. You're eating and drinking throughout the day, and that's something to remember is when you weigh yourself every single day, your weight is going to fluctuate. It matters what you ate the day before. If you had something with a lot of sodium in it, you're going to retain water. What kind of clothes you're wearing when you weigh yourself, the time of day, all of that stuff matters when it comes to your weight, and it's going to make a difference. So it's really hard not to get down on yourself when you weigh yourself one day and then the next day you've gained 3 pounds and it's like, oh man, I shouldn't have ate that cookie last night. Well, you can't gain 3 pounds from eating a cookie, but there's a lot of other factors that can go into that. So don't focus so much on that, and remember that your weight can fluctuate. Even before a workout and after a workout, you can weigh something different. So it fluctuates a lot. So keep that in mind. Number two, actually, I'll also say, hi Dana, thanks for joining. I'll also say that my recommendation is if you are going to weigh yourself and be focusing on kind of the number on the scale, I suggest not weighing yourself more than once a week and choose the same time of day and the same day of the week. So maybe you want to weigh yourself every Monday morning, for example, right? Weigh yourself the same time of day, wearing the same clothes. I weigh myself naked because I know that I'll weigh less than when I'm wearing clothes. I don't know about you guys. How do you weigh yourself? Post below. Do you wear clothes when you weigh yourself? Do you have a favorite time of day? Like, do you like to weigh yourself in the morning? Maybe you like or mostly weigh yourself at night. So if you're not wanting to focus so much on that, I would say weigh yourself no more than once a week, especially if you are doing a program. To weigh yourself every single day is not accurate. You're going to have that fluctuation and it's not going to be accurate anyways, and it can get your mood and your mindset off a little bit if you notice the numbers aren't going the way you want. So don't weigh yourself more than once a week. Pick the same day, same time of day, once a week, and weigh yourself then if you choose. So number two is your weight really doesn't tell the whole story. So your weight is just a number, guys. I tell my customers so often that you might only see 1 or 2 pounds lost, but you need to also be looking at how you feel. Are you stronger? Can you do an extra push-up? Can you do an extra 2 minutes of jumping jacks, right? Can you push just that much further? Are you stronger? Are you gaining muscle? Do you feel better? Is your digestion better? Is your nutrition better? Have you been following that more, right? Like, those things are all non-scale victories. It doesn't matter what the scale says for you to know if you feel better. So keep those in mind as well, that non-scale victories are super important to focus on too, because they're just as important as the number on the scale, if not more important, is how you feel. So your weight does not tell the whole story of your progress. I have tons of times where I have people posting before and after pictures and they say I've only lost 1 pound, but you look at those pictures and wow, you can totally see a difference. So they're obviously losing fat and gaining muscle. So remember, you can see a difference a lot of times before that number on the scale starts to move. So don't let that number define you. Which leads me into number 3, is that the scale doesn't define you. That is just a number. That is not who you are. You are so much more than the number on the scale. Hi Aaron, thanks for joining. So you're so much more than that number, guys. You don't look at that number and start putting yourself down and making yourself feel bad about yourself. It's a number. Focus on the non-scale things, the way you feel, the muscle you're gaining, the strength you're gaining, the nutrition that you're working on. And a lot of times too, I see people say, getting down on themselves when they've only lost maybe 2 or 3 pounds and their goal was to lose 5. Well, instead of focusing on the fact that you didn't lose those last 2 pounds, what if we just focused on the fact that you did lose those 2 or 3 pounds, right? Like, focus on what you have done and be proud of the accomplishments that you have done, rather than always focusing on how far you still have to go. Because every single pound and every single inch that you lose is a step in the right direction, if that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to gain, I have people that are trying to gain weight and gain muscle. So every pound or inch you gain is a step in the right direction. Even if you're not at your goal, celebrate those things. Celebrate those things that you see, even if they're just little steps, instead of just focusing on and letting yourself get down on the number that you aren't reaching. So don't let the scale define you. Just going back to recap, number 1, your weight fluctuates. Don't weigh yourself every day. When you do weigh yourself, I suggest once a week, same time of the day, same day of the week, just to stay consistent. Number 2, your weight does not tell the whole story. A lot of times you can lose inches, gain muscle, but be losing fat. Muscle weighs more than fat, so you might not see as big of a jump on the scale, but remember, you are gaining muscle and you're losing fat. So it's going to show in your pictures more so than it is on the scale sometimes. And then number 3 was that the scale does not define you. You are better than the scale and the number on the scale, so do not let that get you down, and don't let that get into your head, because so much of success and results comes from your mindset. And when we have a bad mindset, it makes it really, really hard to stick to something, because you're letting it get in your head. So that scale does not define you. That's my number 3. My very last things that I want to add is any kind of journey, whether it's health and fitness or anything, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not going to happen quickly just like that. So you have to hang in there. You have to stay consistent. Like I always say, with consistency, it's key in anything you do if you want results, not just health and fitness, but anything in your life. And set non-scale goals as well. So instead of just setting a goal saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose 50 pounds, I want to lose 100 pounds, set some other goals. Pick out an outfit that you haven't fit into for 5, 10, 20 years and say, I want to fit into this outfit again, right? Pick a non-scale goal that you can work towards too. I want to feel comfortable in a bikini again. I want to wear this tank top and love the way my arms look. Non-scale victories, they're so important. So set non-scale victories instead of always just picking that number. I want to lose this many pounds or this many inches. Pick some other goals too that you can see from not getting on the scale. And my very last thing is, I know, guys, I know that everybody hates taking pictures of themselves when they're not at their goal, when you're not happy with yourself, but it is so important. If you're going to focus less on the scale and more on how you feel, you have to document. You have to take pictures before you start your journey and throughout your journey, because so many times you can't necessarily see all that progress on the scale. Believe it or not. I know it would be awesome if we did, but I mean, my first round of the 21-day fix, I lost 2 pounds. 2. Dave lost 13. I cried for like 3 hours when I was taking my pictures. My eyes were all red because I only lost 2 pounds. And then I took my pictures and I compared them. And in 3 weeks, I could see huge differences in my pictures. If I hadn't taken those pictures, as much as I didn't want to take them when I started, I did it, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have had that comparison. I wouldn't have seen and been able to refocus myself on the fact that, hey, you know what? It's not all about that 2 pounds that I lost. It's about the difference I feel. I'm stronger, I feel better, and I can see a difference in my pictures, which is much more important, because you know what? When you're walking around, people don't see a number above your head of what you weigh. People see what you look like, right? So it doesn't matter what that number is, as long as you are healthy, as long as you are happy with yourself and your body. So those are my tips for not focusing so much on the scale, not worrying so much about that number, but focusing on your non-scale things a little bit more, and just being proud of where you have gotten to so far, even if you're not at your final goal. So thanks so much for to all of you who have joined me, and for hopping on over your lunch hour. I hope you have a really great rest of the day. Bye guys.